The World Bowling Tour Men's Finals presented by the PBA rolls on at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. Mike Fagan, the #3 seed here, earning his major title at the 2014 PBA World Championship.
Just was brilliant on this day, taking shot after shot, especially when he needed it most.
Mike Fagan stands by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, we haven't seen you since last summer, and you've taken time off of the tour. What have you been up to?
Well, Kimberly, I'm currently at UC Berkeley Haas School of Business getting my MBA. Planning on phase 2 of my life. I mean, my bowling career was amazing, and I'm trying to capitalize on that and for a career in business.
So how do you shake off the rust, because you have been bowling full-time since last summer, to take on 3-time Player of the Year Jason Belmonte?
Well, it's going to be a tall task, but you know, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy all these experiences that I have left.
All right, well, have fun and good luck to you today.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Guys.
Thanks, Kimberly. Friends on the lanes, not so much during competition. Fagan and Jason Belmonte will do battle in our opening match to determine who faces Don Barrett for the World Bowling Tour Championship.
He's got a lot going in his favor, Mike J. He's loose, he's relaxed, he's having fun, and he's got great hair.
Too quiet.
"14 years on tour and attending at the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley. And opening shot for Fagan is a strike, and the door is open, Randy, for future competition for Fagan as he pursues his MBA.
Yeah, it really is, but you know, he's like he said, he's going on to phase 2 of his life, and Mike Fagan, graduate of St. John's University, smart guy. He's always been a smart guy, and finance has always been something that's fascinated him.
3-time and reigning Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, #2 in points overall on the World Bowling Tour, begins with a strike using World Bowling scoring 30 for a strike, 10+ count for a spare, and open frame results in the pins you earn. World Bowling Tour World Scoring in effect also for our men's championship. World Scoring in effect here. The CEO of World Bowling, Kevin Dornberger, in search of ways to further have bowling be valuable for the International Olympic Committee.
It's just an easier way for those that are not familiar with our sport, oh my, to kind of get a grasp on the scoring.
Does that count for 9-10 and a half?
Watch this ball go right by the 9 pin.
No halvesies in World Scoring. Pinfall with a spare would earn Belmonte 19 in the second frame. And that's how it goes down. 19 makes 49 a complete score in the second
Oh my
frame.
goodness.
You know, regular scoring in our sport, a strike is 10 plus what you get on the next 2 balls. A spare is 10 plus what you get on the next ball. And sometimes it's a little tough. You know, I used to keep score when I was younger. I learned how to keep score using the yellow pencils and the hot telescore units. There's a lot of folks that grew up with automatic scoring that really don't understand how to keep score in sport. This is an easier way.
No rust on that swing. 30 plus 30 equals 60 for Mike Fagan. Here's a look at the top 10 on the World Bowling Tour on the 2-year rolling points list. Barrett, Belmonte, Fagan, just missing Osku Palermo, Sweden's Martin Larsson, Sean Rash from the USA in 6th, Mika Koivuniemi 7th, Thomas Larson 8th, Bill O'Neill and Stuart Williams round out the top 10 on the World Bowling Tour. And there is the CEO of World Bowling, the internationally recognized governing body for
You're just gonna
bowling.
keep the music on the whole time?
Seated next to the PBA Tour Commissioner, Tom Clark. Fagan not showing much rust early, Randy.
No, you're right. Two completely different routes to the pocket. Mike Fagan, much more direct and much straighter up the lane.
And a stunner, 5-pin.
Mike Fagan really came into his own on this tour when he perfected his straight game. You know, he first came out, he could really hook it gutter to gutter, and struggled when he had to go straighter. He worked on it for about 2 years, and it won him his first major.
9 plus 10 for the spare. World score of 19 in the third and 79 complete through 3 for Fagan, who won his first title in 2008 with Danny Wiseman at the PBA Exempt Doubles Classic. First singles title coming later at the 2010 Dick Weber Open, followed by that major that we saw. Jason Belmonte up his arsenal is the high road. The 6 indicates 6 out of 10 for hook potential. Third frame. 30-pin strike, even match in world scoring.
Power and revolutions of Jason Belmonte to go along with excellent pin carry, and you see it right there. The unfortunate pocket 9-pin in the second frame, otherwise he's perfect through 3, but you don't see Jason and a lot of the two-handed no-thumb players leave a lot of solid 9s, a lot of solid 8s, because their bowling balls slow down so much going through the pins because of all that power. Their pin carry is exceptional.
Fourth frame in our opening match. The winner here will get Dom Barrett for the championship in the World Bowling Tour. Fourth frame. And that's a 30-pin strike for Jason Belmonte.
Well, we couldn't see it because Jason was standing in the way, but that time the 9-pin was up, and he actually stared at it and made it fall. Like, don't you even dare. Ooh, that was close.
Intense. Belmonte clears the deck, 109 complete with world scoring. Fagan, to keep pace, must strike. Fourth frame.
Whoa.
And a reset.
Still a little rusty.
Fagan admitting a little rust. Here's a look at his arsenal. He's got the phase, not the strongest ball in his bag. It's an 8 on the scale of 10.
Fagan needs to pump the brakes, take a deep breath, and regroup.
Mixing 4-pin.
Last 2 shots could have struck easily. Very often you see the Swisher 4-pin standing. And Fagan early on doesn't look like he's got any rust on him at all. He's throwing it really nice.
Fagan picks up the spare. That's 9 plus 10 equals 19 under the world score. 98 complete for Fagan. He now trails by 11. Look at Mike Fagan's top finishes. Prior to going to business school, he competed for 2 years on the World Bowling Tour, earning his victory at the World Championship in 2014, runner-up at the Men's World Championship, and third at the 2014 Kingdom event. Frame, mixing strike, and 30 world score. 128 through 5 for Mike Fagan.
Another light hit that finally strikes for Mike Fagan. Has not missed the pocket yet, and struck 3 out of 5 frames. Could be all 5 real easy. Now, Jason Belmonte sporting the facial fescue, working on 2 in a row.
In the nose, and the 8 count with a spare in world scoring would net 18 pins.
Never got it far enough to the right. And with the rev rate that high, Not enough oil in the middle of the lane to keep that online.
So the count there, a feature of the world scoring, 18 for the frame. And now Belmonte trails by 1 through 5.
Remember, a strike counts as 30 for the frame. A spare is 10 plus what the player knocked down on that first ball. So that frame there for Belmonte, 18. Trails by 1 as we take a look at his WBT top finishes. Masters first. Masters again for a second. The Oklahoma Open.
6th frame, Belmonte. Off balance landing, but a strike plus 30 for Belmonte. The king of swing, Mike Fagan, back in action against his good friend Jason Belmonte. The winner advances to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship when we return. Three-time PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, locked up with Mike Fagan in our opening match for the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Let's get behind the numbers with Jason Belmonte.
About 2 seconds for Jason Belmonte typically to get his bowling ball from the foul line to the pins. Let's take a look at his revolutions en route. How about 19 in 2 seconds? Do the math. About 20 miles an hour with a rev rate approaching 600. Definitely the higher end of the scale on the men's tour. I'm not sure there's a lot that approach or that get close to that 600 number. I mean, maybe Oscar Palermo gets close to that. EJ Tackett with his thumb in can get close to that number. But don't kid yourself, folks. As far as power goes, that's the high end of the spectrum.
Gold standard is Belmonte. Fagan mixes up a strike that's good for 30. World score in the frame through 6. Fagan 158, a 1-pin advantage over Belmonte.
Right foot open, keeps the hips nice and open. And again, a lot of light shots for Mike. The last 2 carries all 10, 2 in between. Shaker 5-pin, shaker 4-pin, and he started with a double.
Fagan, formerly known as the master of Faganomics. Numbers and finance have always been in his interest level as he attends school at UC Berkeley, and that's how he knows. And a break on the 9-pin, 30-pin frame.
Remember that Belmonte in the second frame left the solid 9. Fagan trips the 9-pin. Watch this. Pretty cool. Some good pin action there. Yeah, you know, the late, great Dick Weber said winning never gets old, and Mike Fagan just showed you why that is with that great react.
7th frame, Belmonte's done a lot of winning himself. And that's a 30-pin frame. Maintains the 1-pin deficit, does Belmonte. 188, 187, world score complete through 7.
Keep an eye on this next shot on the left lane. Last time up on that lane, he stuck. Kelly Kulick, in the women's finals, she stuck twice on the left lane.
Three frames to play. World scoring in effect, 30 per frame, including the 10th frame, with the 1 opportunity for a 30-pin strike, no fill ball. First crack of the 8th belongs to Jason Belmonte. He trails by 1. Pin strike for Belmonte. World score 217.
Well, if both players take it to the 10th frame, they'll be in the 270s. Fagan can strike out 8th, 9th, and 10th for 278. Jason Belmonte striking out 9th and 10th gives him 277.
Comes up short, 245.
Trying to go straight, sometimes you run the risk of missing the finger holes at the bottom. And that's exactly what happened right there. Fagan just misses this a little bit right. And it's the 2-4-5.
World score 17 max in the eighth with the spare conversion. 7 plus 10, 17 for Fagan. And this is our hammer tough spare replay.
Re-rack, please.
Belmonte with a 12-pin advantage now after that spare for Fagan, and we'll get a re-rack.
Max score, Mike Fagan, 265. He still has a chance to win this opening match on the men's side. Jason Belmonte again, striking the 9th and 10th, 277.
World score of 30 in the 9th, 235 complete. Frame for Fagan.
A little more direct, a little more towards the second arrow on that left lane, and a perfect shot when he needed it most, giving him a chance and setting up the 10th frame. Nine spare is all Belmonte needs here in the 10th.
World score, 9 spare, and Belmonte moves on. 10th frame. Not only not a 9, that's 8 count split.
Well, now he needs to convert for a tie should Fagan strike in the 10th. It looked like he got soft and short on this shot, leaving both the 4 and the 10. Somehow he's going to have to try to slide the 4 pin over. Get the ball over into here, throw it into the 10.
Opts for the count.
Unbelievable.
And that's a 9-pin world score in the 10th, 256 final.
Mike Fagan must strike on this ball.
Hold up my base.
The difference is 21. The only option for Fagan is a 30-point world score in the 10th for the win.
Taking a lot of time.
Fagan on the full reset, and the full reset of the pre-shot routine, strike to advance to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Fagan slaps out the 10. He's a winner, advancing to face Don Barrett. Some things, Randy, you don't forget.
Beautiful shot.
Fagan advances to the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship in pursuit of the World Bowling Tour trophy, symbolic of the best in the world on the World Bowling Tour. Championship matches coming. The World Bowling Tour men's final presented by the PBA rolls on at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the 2016 World Bowling Tour schedule ready to circle the globe, getting underway February 24th with the HH Emir Cup. And then tournaments in Bahrain, Germany, Thailand, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait in the Middle East. Wrapping up with the PBA World Series of Bowling 8 in Reno later in 2016. Kimberly Pressler is with Kevin Dornberger, CEO for World Bowling.
Thanks, Mike. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me here. So the scoring system today is a little bit different than last year's. Why don't you tell me what the changes are?
Well, the changes are pretty simple. It's a strike is 30, the frame is done. 9 spare is 19, that frame is done. 9-0 is 9, the frame is done. Premise is that at the end of each frame, there's no more thinking or guessing. There's no more waiting for more shots. There's a definitive score at the end of each frame, and somebody's winning and somebody's losing.
Simplifying it. So why did you decide to go with this type of scoring?
Well, we tried, as you know, match play last year, frame by frame, and I guess most people weren't thrilled with it. This is much closer to our current scoring system, but it accomplishes the goal, and that is clarifying who's winning and who's losing at the end of each frame.
Now, I know that you were spearheading the push to try and get bowling into Olympics. What is going on with that?
Well, we had a bonus opportunity for Tokyo 2020. It was earlier than the rules that existed allowed us before. We were in the final 8. We were in the short list, which bowling's never been in the short list before. Unfortunately, we didn't make the cut. We're not in Tokyo, but we're still in play for 2024, which is the normal process. So we're as close as we've ever been. People out there, don't give up. We're going to be an Olympic sport pretty soon.
I would love to see bowling as an Olympic sport. Thank you so much for your time, Kevin.
You're
Guys,
welcome.
back to you.
Thanks, Kimberly. Coming up, it's the men's final on the World Bowling Tour. Mike Fagan takes on England's Dom Barrett when we return to Woodland Bowl.